Well, today on Nation, a window cleaners podcast, we're talking about the envelope. What do you give customers when you go to the place? I want to know what you do, but I'm going to tell you what I do. The envelope system works really, really well. So if you're in window cleaner, heck, any service at all, I'm going to go through it. So stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. What's up? If it's your first time here, have a look around. 8.5 years of content. It's nuts. Anyway, watch, listen, anywhere podcasts are found, of course. If you're on Spotify or any of the other platforms, take a second and rate it. Even if you've been here a while, rate it, review it, give me some stars, and go from there. I am also a rep for windowcleaner.com. I'm just putting that out there. We'll get into shameless plugs, of course, but I want to give out shout outs to 3 random people that buy through me. Anybody can buy from me. It's how I make money. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but thank you to Douglas Bryant. Thank you to Joe Berg. Maybe I butchered your last name. Sorry, man. And thank you to Michael Norris. What's up? Those are just 3 randomly awesome people. And if you see them on the street, make sure to give them a high five for me. Anyway. But today we're talking about the envelope. And if you don't know what the envelope is, I'm going to kind of go over it. But every crew that we ran in every single job in residential at all, actually residential and route, sort of, I won't talk about that. Commercial is the only one I didn't hand it off because you don't necessarily see somebody. But every house that I've ever cleaned, maybe not ever, but for the last 10, 12, 14 years of doing this, every person got an envelope at the very beginning. And I'm going to go through kind of when to give it to them, what's in the envelope, why would we do that, what makes sense, how does it help you, all that good stuff. But I just want to start off by saying that's what I did. Every single person got an envelope, and every envelope was the same and yet different. We'll get into that. Anyway, when I get to a job, there's 2 things we did. And you know I love my systems. You know I want to have everything be kind of the same across the board. And the reason we do that is because just like McDonald's has a picture of how to put a burger together, I know that every single time that any single crew goes, it'll be the exact same experience. And I've curated the experience. I've made it what I want it to be, so why not have everybody do the exact same thing? So I would, when we get to the project, we do the initial thing, knock on the door. Hey, this is Jones. My name is Jersey with XYZ Window Cleaning. We're here to go ahead and start your window cleaning. Oh, great. Well, we're going to have a quick look around. If we're doing inside and outside, I explain kind of the process of do what we're doing. I kind of explain but introduce my other person, right? I always send crews of 2. This is Jake. He's going to go ahead and start on the out. So if you hear some banging ladders and things like that, if we're using doing gutter cleaning or squeaks of your spigots, that's just him setting things up. No need to worry. First off, here is some info for you, and I'm handing them the envelope. And the envelope itself is not sealed when I hand it to them. And I say, here's the envelope. And inside there, you're going to have your satisfaction form. And by the way, in the envelope, we give it to them, but we have kind of the items kind of sticking out so they can see. A satisfaction form is just literally a half sheet of paper that has a couple questions. And we literally just put a checkbox as 100% satisfied. A signature. 3 questions. One that says, how would you rate our pricing? 1 through 5. How would you rate our staff? 1 through 5. How would you rate the overall experience? 1 through 5. And you're like, well, that doesn't tell you much. I know. Because it gets me to this. Then I have a notes section. It's a bunch of lines on the bottom. They can write any note. And when we hand them the envelope, I'm going to let them know and say, and first off, there is a satisfaction form in there. Just go ahead and answer 3 simple questions for us, just so we know how we did. And then there's a spot for notes. Please put something or anything down there. Good, bad, it doesn't matter. When you hand me the envelope back, it'll be sealed, so I won't see it. It's just for the office and just so they know how we're doing. Tell us anything you want. Then we go on to the next piece, right? Very nonchalant. Here's where the first part of the envelope comes into play. A satisfaction form is not necessarily about price and all that, because, it is what it is. But here's what happens is almost everyone, literally 95+%, comes back at how do you rate our price? It's not going to be a 5. It's going to be like a 4. Maybe a 3. I don't want it to be a 5. If it's a 5, I'm not charging enough. How do you rate our staff? Almost always a 5. And how do you rate our overall? Almost always a 5. It gets people into giving the information to get to the notes. The notes is that's the most important part, because I want to know what the person wants. What do the person need? What do they see? How do they really feel about the experience? I want to know. And I've gotten some really, really amazing things in there. If you just put something like, tell us how we did, people are like, fine. I have to kind of preface them in. The other thing is by securing the envelope, this is why we don't glue it down right away, is because when they hand it back, it's always sealed. I don't want them to fake what they're going to say because the tech is going to read it, right? If you're like, hey, how did we do? Then the customer's going to be like, good. Because they're not going to tell you oh, you suck. Most people are not confrontational. So I want them to say stuff. And I've seen, literally stuff from, make sure you give good Christmas bonus this year because, his daughter needs braces. I've seen stuff like that all the way up to, whatever, I'm trying to think of the worst thing. We had really good guys, but the worst thing ever, people specifically talking about something that somebody did or something they weren't happy, but they're giving me feedback that's real. And if you just said, tell us how you did, what do we do? Everybody goes, good. They just say this general and very basic kind of answer. It doesn't help you out. I don't want yes men. I don't want you to tell me all of the things I'm doing good. I want you to tell me all the things I'm doing bad. I could do more improvement on bad things than I can get anything out of pat on the back, you're doing good, right? So I'm going to give the satisfaction form. That is super, super important. There's also a little checkbox that says I am 100% satisfied. One of the things that does is it also kind of, if they're telling me they're 100% satisfied, it doesn't necessarily translate back to me. They're hey, they missed a window. Because then they're well, I said it was 100%. They've told themselves. So when you guys talk about callbacks, I know I've explained kind of how our process is, and if you don't explain it in a blown up term of listen, you're going to see these windows in morning, noon, and night. And if you see anything, any spot, streak, smear, anything you're not happy with, please, please, please call us back. Let us know. We'll come back, touch that window up for you. This is what we do. 100% satisfaction guarantee is not just now, it's even when we leave, right? I blow that up and you're well, why would you go so in depth? You're no, because I want them to know that if they do find something, which we hear, right? Well, in the one window there was a bit streak, but I just kind of got a towel up there. Don't worry about it. It's because they go, okay, this window cleaning company wasn't trying to pull one over on me. They didn't try to, screw me. They didn't try to steal my money. They didn't just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, leave. They were genuinely wanted to make sure that everything was perfect. So now, you know what? The streak's not a big deal. If you just come in and go, hey, we did perfect, see ya. They're dude, there's a streak in the middle of the window. Now they're upset about a streak that doesn't matter. Anyway, same thing goes with the satisfaction form. Now, the very, 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 very main goal is to get notes. I want to get notes. I want to get in there real. And sometimes people just put, good job, or great guys, or whatever. Awesome. By the way, if you have staff and you have multiple staff, I always post the good ones. I always hang them up. There's a billboard right when you walk in the front hallway of all the good ones that people can read. If they're really, really good, I bring them up at the meetings and kind of, put everything out there. Because it creates this pride, kind of. But once they check the thing of I am 100% satisfied, and I'm piggybacking that on you know what? These guys literally, they want to know if this is not, they're not trying to pull something over. They're not just trying to leave. They're really just genuine. our callback rate was non-existent for years. We had not had a callback in the last 3 years probably that we did business, and we were running multiple crews. I mean, some situations come into some people out there that feel like, I get a lot of callbacks, or there's seasons, like when we're busy, we get a lot of callbacks, or you see it too, when we're slow, we get a lot of callbacks for some weird reason. Well, it's not necessarily the callback, because we want to do good work. We want perfection for people to come back, but we want perceived perfection, meaning if you look through the window and you're like, oh, the windows are great, perfect. If you look and go, oh, there's a little spot. This is what we do, right? This is why some of you think that I have to do the best windows ever and whatever. That's not the case. Nobody's looking at the window like you are. But if there is a streak or smear, they look and go, oh, they just got one little thing and not a big deal. I'll take care of it. It's not a big deal. It's a streak. Because that's really what it is. If you leave a smear, something weird on a window, you take a rake and go, and that's gone. It becomes a big deal when they go, you know what? I paid all this money and they leave the windows looking like this. Right? Well, these guys push so fast. It's the same kind of thing. It's like a missed window in a closet. It's not a big deal. A, you never open the thing. B, it is hiding behind some clothes, something somebody didn't see. They only get mad when they think you're trying to screw them over. Anyway, that's why we have the first piece of this puzzle is the satisfaction form. You get so much info from that. And again, it only works if it's simple and it's questions that more than likely they're going to give good responses for. They're going to give responses, get them in that mode of like, oh, that's cool. Yep. Like, I'm not going to go in like, how likely would you be to... Dude, I'm not asking for referrals. I'm asking simple questions I already know the answers to get you warmed up to give me notes. And it has to be back in a sealed envelope. And I have to mention that because I want them to feel secure that the guys aren't going to be like, they'll read it and turn around and be like, why would you say that? Because we've had bad stuff sometimes. We had one of our guys apparently swore outside. He was talking to her or the other guy, something. I was like, well, we heard profanities from one of your techs. Like, that to them was a bad thing, and we brought it up. It's like, hey, just so you guys know, like, watch what you're saying. Everybody's listening. We want to, it's cool you guys are talking about sports or doing whatever, but just don't casually swear in front of a customer, right? So you get a lot of really, really good information. That's the first main part. The other thing that's in the envelope, again, kind of all of our envelopes were the same for years and years and years. The other thing is you take a piece of paper, okay? You can cut it into thirds. And what I would do is when we laid out stuff, I would put all my services down on, say, a piece of paper. I would put 3 services and I would have their own little sections and I have this little dotted line. Because then I knew once we printed it or had them printed, I could cut them myself. We had like one of those guillotine cutters. And it was a third piece. And each one had a picture of the service, a quick description, a quick ballpark price, which you're like, well, how can you do that? Gutter prices starting at $249, right? I would have all services down that way. And depending on what season it was, I could swap those out. Now, when you're looking at other services, people don't read them. I know that. We did a questionnaire one time, which this still is probably one of the most eye-opening. This is in the top 3 eye-opening things that's ever happened in my business. And it was, I did 10 services. I mean, literally broke everything. Gutter cleaning, screen repair, outside window cleaning, inside window. These are all services that I pumped every time we do email blasts and every time we would do the envelope and the everything. And our techs would always ask for upsells. They would explain things and give them bids. And I said, a little checklist, just check up. We did it for 30 days. 1 month, whatever, it was 31 days. And I said, check off which services you know that we do. Which services out of 10? And I would love, if you're commenting and you want to help the algorithm, comment right now, wherever you're watching, how many services out of 10 you would think that your customers actually know. Do that. I'm going to give you the answer in a few seconds. But tell me how many you think you would do, how well of a job you're doing. Because, man, I thought we were on top of it. I thought everybody would be like, like one person would be like, you guys do screen repair. I guess I didn't know. I thought we had done it because we put it in front of everybody. But here's the thing about putting it in front of everybody. Just like the manual you get in a new item, people don't read it. They don't look at it. We have people buy on our website, which our website in the listing, right above the button where you click like add to cart, people will buy stuff and they'll be like, I didn't know it was, and it's like you literally click the button but below the big red letters that explained it. I'm like, well, I didn't know that a wide body channel couldn't fit in a standard or what, like it shows everything. You didn't read. We can put as much information as something, but we have to make them read, right? And out of 10, I'm going to give you the answer. Hopefully you guys have responded. I love the interaction. It helps me. But out of 10, our average was 2. 2. Mind you, we broke it down to outside window cleaning, inside window cleaning, gutter. I mean, we had everything else, but we had 2 services. So inside window cleaning and outside window cleaner were really like the main ones that everybody knew. So no matter how you put this out there or what you do or whatever you let them know, it is absolutely something they're not going to read, but you want to always put it out there because here's the thing. We would do 3 different services and I don't put it in one sheet because it's just a sheet, it gets missed. I 3 cut pieces and they're like, oh, look at all this. What is all this? Gets them to look at it a little bit more. There's pictures. They can even look at the pictures and see. I put prices so they get the tire kickers out, understand at least a little bit. I'm giving them some kind of value for that, but I put them in there because then I can swap them out. If I'm in fall, getting into fall, I can put a gutter cleaning one in there. If I'm going into spring, I'm not really putting gutter cleaning in, right? If I'm doing snow removal, I'm doing that late fall stuff. I'm not doing that spring. Nobody in spring is really looking for that, right? So I can swap them out. But again, multiple pieces, separate. It takes a second to cut them, but it gives them that kind of option. It's like, look at all this stuff. I got to see what the heck all this is, right? 2 services, by the way. That was incredibly eye-opening. I'm like, this can't be right. I'm looking at it. I saved everything, as I was telling them all. This is insane. It's insane. It's insane. But that just shows you just never do enough to kind of let people know. Like this. I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com, and for 8 solid years, shameless plug coming, 8 solid years I've been telling you guys, like, please let me put your orders in. And still, there's people that don't. There's people that have me put in one order, or maybe they've had me put a big order in, or they do whatever, and then they're like, oh, I forgot about you. But I have all these questions. And, man, you remember me when you have questions. Remember me when you put your orders in. I promise. I make it easy. Big orders, small orders. And let me tell you, there are so many of you that have me put every single order in and have for years. And it's phenomenal. Please, don't ever think that I take that for granted, because you guys are the reason I exist. Really, literally, there's 2 ways that I make money, and one of them is through putting orders in, which does not cost you anything extra, but I get a commission on the back end, and it's the reason I exist. So thank you. And if you want me to put your orders in, which I hope you do, because I want to, it's 862-312-2026, and you want to make it even easier for yourself. If you're already shopping and you're like, oh, I'm going to click checkout, right above the checkout button is underlined text that says, view this cart and save this cart. Save this cart. Shoot me a text. Be like, yo, it's saved. That gives you a cart number if you really want to give that to, or you can name it. I get people name the carts, absolutely the most amazing names ever. So if you want to name your cart, you can name it anything you want. And yeah, I always really love the really good names. So that's the first thing. The second thing, of course, is the American Window Cleaner magazine. The magazine itself, now I've owned for like 3 years, 4 years, very long time, but it's been around since 1986. It is just for window cleaners. And yeah, it also comes with a sticker sheet. So if you've seen the stickers and you're like, dude, where did you get those stickers from in the window cleaning? It's the magazine. Every month, you get a paper magazine to your door. Real amazing. It's actually very visually awesome too. It's something you're actually going to want to read. Great articles. You get the sticker sheet also. So do that, awcmag.com. The American Window Cleaner magazine is fantastic. Also, I do get some money if people buy Jobber through my link, because, like I said, 8.5 years of doing this, and up until half a year ago, I've never talked CRMs because none of them have been good enough. I've done 3 demos with Jobber alone. Never been impressed until this last one I did, because so many things have changed, according to them, that I was like, yeah, all right, I'll figure it out. I actually canceled the first one. I was like, hey, man, I'm getting busy this day. Can we move it? They're like, yeah. It's phenomenal. Jobber is absolutely everything you need to run a business. Better than anything else that's out there. I will put that and die on that hill. There's never been something I've bragged about or even talked about like that. So don't think that that's a shill type thing. Hundreds of people have started using Jobber from the show, obviously, but you got to use that link for me to get credit for it. So anyway, it's in the notes. It's awesome. It's 20% off. Why not? Anyway, back to it. So many pieces to this. We got the satisfaction form, what that is, the cutouts. We got that. We also have any information that's in there. I always do our plastic gift cards, because I want people to talk about us. I want people to think that they got value. So what I do is, after, with one of the things in there, I go, and just so you know, Mrs. Jones, I put 2 $50 gift cards in there, $25, whatever your gift cards. People always get scared of that. I put 2 gift cards in there. One, feel free to use, or give both away. Give one away, give 2 away. Doesn't matter. Tell your friends you'll be the coolest one out there. They're in there for you. And I'm telling you, gift cards as a referral thing, it's a plastic real gift card. They're very, very cheap. We Lysol, spray them, and give them out again. I think that is incredibly valuable, because people give them to anytime somebody's talking about something, oh my gosh, you want a window cleaner? I have a gift card. And they're like, whoa, $50. $50 is like a referral. You're like, well, that's a lot to spend. No. Some of you do discounts. Some of you do whatever. When I do a job for $300, $50 on that first one is taking off of that price. But what does that actually cost you in timing, right? It's really not a big investment for that. You're still making a ton of money, but it's big enough that they find value and people have them in their wallets for a very, very long time. Plastic gift cards are in there. It is a very, very, very good way. It's just a plastic gift card that says $50. It looks just like a gift card to anywhere else. And on the back, it explains just in fine print, this is to be used for complete window cleaning, only for exterior window cleaning or interior and exterior, or any services we offer. Because here's the thing, I don't track gift cards, because nobody in our truck minimum is only doing $50. It's going towards any cleaning. So it's really like a coupon, but coupons don't have value. People throw coupons away. If you go talk to your spouse, and I'm assuming most of you, 98.7% of you are male that are listening. If you go in your spouse's wallet and purse, you will find gift cards for Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts and everything else that has like $1.87 on it, because they can't throw it away. It's money. This is why gift cards work. This is why you can buy gift cards for less money than what the gift card's worth sometimes. You go to Costco and things. You get get $100 of gift cards for only, $89 or $80, because they know a lot of them are going to be thrown away. Or let me rephrase that. Not used, but not thrown away. In plastic gift cards, there are people with them in the wallet still to this day that I've given out 10 years ago probably. Going through going, oh yeah, I got this there. My phone number's on there, website's on there. Plastic gift cards are absolutely incredible. Again, adds value. And now I can make them seem like, if they just tell their friend like, hey, Jan, you should use XYZ window cleaning. They're like, okay. But if I go, hey, Jan, I have a $50 gift card to this cleaning company that they said, you were talking about windows, here you go. Now she's the rock star. You will get so many more referrals from people when they're like, oh, I feel good because I gave Jan $50. Like, and then they're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Now it's a big thing. If you just were like, hey, this is a good company, you should use them. They're like, cool, thanks. Like, just mentioning it isn't a big thing, right? So we get those things. And then when people get the gift card, they got $50. They're like, I got to use this. And they'll try you out. So anyway, that's in there too. Put all that. And then I say this, and finally, the bad news. And I joke and I say, the invoice is also in there. You can go ahead and pay that by credit card, or if you're writing a check, you can put that right in the envelope, but we'll collect that when we're done here today. That's in there too. If you have any questions on it, let me know. Okay. So many of you, and every week I get people who send me something. They're like, you were talking to me. And that's awesome. That just means that sometimes you hear the things that are happening kind of in your life. But you could tell me if this is you. But so many people have accounts receivable, meaning they're owed money. And you're like, yeah, I'm owed like $2,000. I'm owed $20,000. I know people who are owed much, much more than that. Why are you letting people not pay you when you're done? Do you go to the grocery store? All right, cool, your total is $212.07. You're like, cool, just shoot me a bill. The grocery store would be like, no, you don't get to leave until you pay the groceries. That's how everything works. You cannot go into a store anywhere, and just be like, yeah, just send me a bill. I'll pay it sometime. Because they're like, no. But then for some reason in services, we're like, sure. Yeah, I'll send you a bill and hopefully you pay. And then there's a lot of you out there who go, yeah, I've never been stiffed. Cool. But I will guarantee you 100% of you who are not collecting all of the money all right at the time have spent more money trying to get money when a service has already been done. Like, I go to the job, I'm spending my X amount of labor, you're going to pay me. If I don't, and now I have to call you a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I'm spending more money and time collecting when I should have collected then. You're making less money if you have to collect it later. And there's not one customer ever is like, you are so money hungry. I can't believe you'd expect to get paid when you do a service. 1,000% collect every single job. Now, we're talking residential. Not, route. Sometimes there's corporate. They pay once a month. Sometimes, commercial. I get that. We're talking residential. What if they're not home? If they're not home and somebody says, well, we're not going to be there, but I'll give you the gift. Awesome. So, we can absolutely do that. We'll go ahead and leave you with everything there right on your kitchen table. But I do have to have a card on file then. As soon as everything is completed, we'll go ahead and charge that. Remember, no matter what, if we charge it or not, you still have that 100% satisfaction guarantee. Everything is protected. People go, oh, okay. If they go, well, I would need to see the windows before I pay you. Which I don't think I've ever had that. But you say, okay, great. Well, then you just need to be there at the cleaning. Well, I can't be. I'm at, okay. I'm not going to clean and do all of this and not get paid. Like, there's zero reason that would ever happen. And if your company is running that way, you are spending more money to get your money you've already spent time in. It just does not make sense to anything, to anybody. It's the same thing. This is off topic, but it's the same thing where I think one of the biggest problems for a lot of guys is that somebody will be like, oh, while you're up there, could you just do that chandelier? Could you just, there's a bird, there's a, and people go, well, I just do it. I'm already there. Okay. So if you go back to the grocery store, everything's done. And then you put a pack of gum, they go, boop. Like, nobody's like, oh, pack of gum, I'll just throw that in free since you're already buying groceries. No one is ever expected to have free gum. But yet, in services, you think they're expecting to do it free. If somebody's like, hey, when you're up there, could you change those bulbs? Yeah, absolutely. We'll just tack on a little for that time, and we'll get it all done while we're here. Nobody's like, what? You'll charge me for that? Yes, because this is what we're doing. Like, nobody's shocked, right? Same thing. Same thing, nobody's shocked that you would require them to pay you for the service you just did. Doesn't make sense. So we put it all in there. So that means that every customer that I get done. I walk out of there with payment. Every customer, payment. I walk out of there with notes on most of them. Some of them don't, just leave it blank. And I get the satisfaction form, which obviously those are notes, but I get that satisfaction checked, and it cuts down on my callbacks. There's so many pieces to this puzzle that when you do it right, it works beautifully together. This is a tailored thing that's kind of come over the years. If you're making your own envelopes, awesome. If you are kind of changing something, awesome. But if you're not getting the same results, then do it the exact same way that I'm mentioning. I don't know everything. I'm just a dummy who sits in front of a screen and talks to himself every week. But I know that this has worked for hundreds of window cleaners. I've been talking about this for years. It really, really just works. There's a lot of pieces moving in this. Envelopes are something that's very overlooked. People show up and they're just like, hey, there's so many things that you're missing by doing an envelope, which is simple. We print them the day before we go to a job. I had an office admin. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It takes minutes just to go, okay, cool. We got Mrs. Jones. Here's the price, print. Oh, here's the price, print. I have all that. So then they're in envelopes. So the next day, all you do is go, here you go. I got everything already put together. It's absolutely just as fast as not doing it, but you get so much benefit from it. Again, we're building a company. You're trying to do things that make this company successful. This is one of them. Anyway, off my high horse, but wait, please let me put your orders in. I need to buy Christmas presents this year. So, I would love that. No, everybody always tells me the things they can buy with their money. Hair gel is very big. Brand name bandages, things like that. My pennies that I make from your sales all add up. So I really do genuinely appreciate it. I know we always joke about it, but man, it's absolutely phenomenal. All those people that do that. I want you to be a cool kid. So do that. 862-312-2026 is my cell. Call me, text me, smoke signals, doesn't matter. I'd love to put your order in, big or small. People are always like, oh, it's only a little order. I don't care. I want them all. So let me do that. Also, if you have not gotten a subscription to American Window Cleaner, then you are not truly a window cleaning nerd like me. If you are actually serious in window cleaning, you should involve yourself in everything. This is our college. I mean, you listening to a podcast on window cleaning, the business side of it, get the magazine. It's $69 for the entire year, and it's 12 issues of knowledge. And stickers, which I really like the stickers. I mean, that part makes it just kind of cool. Go to awcmag.com, get the subscription. And if you're a pro, you're going to have a business software that runs things. Go get Job or 20% off in the comments, blah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, listening, and everything else. Hopefully you start your envelope, system, consistency. But either way, most importantly, until next week, go out there and be epic.